York's classic rock, Q1043.
We have something very, very special planned for you this morning here at New York's classic rock, Q104.3. First, just a little background. I mean, Robert Plant and Jimmy Page and Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Elton John and Billy Joel and Roger Waters and David Gilmour and Roger Daltrey and Slash and Duff and Dave Grohl.
Who are these guys?
Those guys have all been on our show multiple times through the years, and it's always been wonderful to welcome them. But the greatest rock group in the history of the world has always eluded us until now. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to welcome to our show the Grammy Award-winning, I'm just so thrilled by this. I mean, we've tried for so many years. We never were able to book them, but would you please welcome Tenacious D?
Yes, yes, yes.
Please, we're just regular guys.
Oh, yeah,
Sure you are.
Sure you are. It's Jack
That was
Black.
a very sweet intro.
Man.
Believe me, we
I
put
was
on
like-
our pants one leg at a time.
It's Jack
What's
Black.
wrong with
goes
this?
in.
And
What's
it's-
wrong with this intro?
And it's
We don't-
Kyle
yeah.
Gass. I mean, I just cannot believe it. And it's hard for me to believe, considering what a major impact you've made in the world of rock music, that it's only been 21 years since the world learned about you and you eclipsed all of those other artists in the rock pantheon.
Well, that's
That's awfully kind.
not for us to say, and we couldn't have done it without a lot of other musicians and influences and genres that we've stolen from over the years.
Well, I understand that a lot of great musicians, including possibly some that I mentioned a moment ago, are constantly begging you guys to appear on your records. Is that true?
You know, no, that's not true.
That's not true?
I don't think Robert Plant has. That's for damn sure.
Well, Dave Grohl has.
Well, we let him. We actually let him play drums.
You know, you're right. We have collaborated with some pretty rad musicians over the decades. We had a dude from Fish,
Page McConnell.
remember?
Nice.
Page McConnell.
Yeah.
We had Steve McDonald from Red Cross.
Yeah, wonderful.
We call him
bassist.
S. McD. We had who else do we have?
Warren Fitzgerald from the
Warren
Vandals.
Fitzgerald from the Vandals, punk rock aficionado. And Dave Grohl, the illustrious Dave Grohl, the greatest drummer of all times. They were just fans of our early days when we would play the Viper Room and Largo. We were playing to like little small groups of people, and we built up this little kind of punk rock fan base way back in the day in early Hollywoods of the 90s. And then when we hit the big time when we played for David Cross, and he gave us a break and asked us if we would do our little comedy rock bit on HBO to open for his show, Mr. Show. And once that happened, we started getting big crowds, and then we called up our old pals, you know, Dave Grohl and Warren Fitzgerald and S. McD, and said, "Hey, you want to cut an album with us? We want to like go official." And they graced us with their magical rock, and the rest is history.
And now people look forward to your occasional releases of special records that you use to raise
You've noticed our 6-year cycle.
to raise considerable sums
Every 6 years.
Yeah, but there are special records that you make to raise considerable sums for different charitable organizations, and the record that we're going to world premiere in just a few minutes is one of those records. And what charity will benefit from it?
We're going with Everytown to help get some new gun legislation going, because enough is enough with the AR-15s, with teenagers running around with AR-15s. Dude, I remember when I was 18, I was a menace to society because my brain wasn't done functioning.
Oh, totally, right?
I'm lucky to be alive. I was using the roads in our local neighborhood as like my personal roller coaster with my Volkswagen Bug. It's like, kids are idiots. They shouldn't have weapons of war. It's insane.
Yeah.
At least,
Not
push
till
it
the
up a
20s.
few years. Yeah. Let's get those brains cooked a little more before they get to play with the big toys.
But in exchange, we'll lower the age you can rent cars to 23 instead of 25. You see how we compromise?
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
like a fair compromise.
You know what I mean?
It does.
Well, it just seemed like a good organization doing some good work in that direction. So yeah, we wanted to help out in that way.
And
Every town.
So all
for-
of the proceeds of the vinyl of this new hit single we're going to release will go to that charity.
And it's called Every Town for Gun Safety. And the recording that you chose to make is really your own version of The Who's Tommy, and there's an accompanying video. And for our friends who are listening right now on Q104.3, if you ask your parents or maybe your grandparents about Reader's Digest condensed books, this is kind of like the Reader's Digest condensed
Jim.
books version of Tommy, because you pretty much get all of Tommy, but in 4 minutes.
Well, it's called the medley.
Yeah, but if I saw the video, and I mean, it's the visual. You just boom, you hit all the high points. You
Sure.
really do. Speaking
Some
of
would
which,
say cherry pick.
speaking of which, in the video, I have a question about the dresses. Are they from your personal collection, or were there world famous designers vying to dress you?
Dope.
I did not raid my mom's closet. No, I got a pro on the case. We've worked with her for decades. Actually, we first worked with her on Pick of Destiny. Dana Pink, who hooks us up with the best costumes, and she got stuff that looked just like it was from the movie, the 1970s movie release of Tommy, The Who's Tommy.
I dig
Ken
the
Russell.
boots.
Oh,
the boots.
The
Yeah.
boots are awesome.
Oh yeah, Elton John boots.
Hell yeah.
You got Tina Turner's red dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You've got the swimming pool scene. You've got it all.
90% of our
shot in
budget
a real
went to my
swimming
dress
pool.
and my dresses. you know.
Pardon me about the pool.
Oh, we shot in Jack's actual pool, by the way.
That was your.
Yeah.
You have a pool?
Yeah, I have
It's
a pool.
California.
Wow.
Come on.
This is what the rock star life
He's a
affords
movie
you.
star. Come on.
Someday this
He's
can
a
all
movie
be
star.
yours
Well,
if you rock hard enough.
Well, let's hear the Who medley right now. It's a world premiere on Q104.3. It's Tenacious D right here on the Q. Jack Black and Kyle Gass are with us of Tenacious D. That was really incredible. I mean,
That was ambitious and awesome.
I mean, and I know our friends who just heard it on the radio are loving it right now. But I would also suggest, if you get a chance, that you watch the video, because the video is just absolutely incredible. And when these ideas come into your head, I mean, the ability that you guys have, being, the greatest rock group in the history of the world, which gives you some clout and some power, you actually have the ability to take those ideas that you have in your head and make them become reality. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, so it's a real special place that
we
you're
gotta
in.
take our hats off to Liam Lynch, creator of that video. I mean, he was really instrumental.
He directed our movie, The Pick of Destiny. For those that don't know, classic stoner rock comedy. Didn't get its due when it first came out, but has grown to cult status.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have a new record, we always go to Liam first and say, "Hey, dude, you got any ideas for a music video?" Because the kid's batting 1,000 as far as we're concerned. Yeah, he did a humdinger on it. It's like a tribute to the old movie, which I'm not a huge look. Let's just be honest. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I'm
Ken
a
Russell
huge fan
classic.
of the rock opera by The Who. The movie's kind of weird and hit and miss, but
Yeah, but I met Anne Margaret when I went to the New York premiere of that movie.
Love her.
oh,
Whoa.
dude,
Which is
You
a
mu-
happy memory, which I still
Yeah.
I still think about at night when I close my eyes before I go to
She
sleep.
is the best.
well, she's incredible, and there are incredible performances in the movie. It's just, I think you can agree with me. Once in a while, just a rancid onion fart of a performance will grace the screen. You'll be like, "Whoa!" I don't want to name names, but Jack Nicholson, one of our finest actors of all time, almost completely ruins the movie with one of the worst. He's just not a great singer. And
which is
Yeah,
why you
double
left.
in.
Which is why you left that part out of your 4-minute version of Tommy.
Yeah.
Now, Tenacious D goes on tour next week, but you're not coming here. You're going to be in Philadelphia, so close by. You're going to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut, but you're not coming here.
No NYC,
I know.
man.
Well, the parking is terrible. And we just,
well, the thinking behind it is this is kind of like our greatest hits tour, coming back to rock stages after the pandemic times, and it's not a new album. It's just sort of like a greatest hits and some rad new singles. But we save the big city. We save the Big Apple for when we got a new record, and that's coming. That's coming next year or the year after that. It depends on the scheduling.
The cycle.
We'll be back. Don't worry, Big Apple.
Don't
We're
worry.
coming.
We
But
love
when you come to the Big Apple, you got to come correct.
yeah, you
got to bring the big guns.
big guns.
Well, you've sold out the Garden before. I mean, you sold. Think of that. You sold out Madison
was-
Square Garden.
I know.
And the last
Yeah.
time you were here, you were at the historic King's Theater in Brooklyn, which is just beautiful.
That
Gorgeous.
was a blast. Yeah,
Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
2 nights.
And Kyle,
Yes.
you play with other people sometimes, don't you?
Why are
in
you
demand.
bringing that up when Jack's in the room?
You're
I
in-
don't understand.
I mean, you're
What?
I try to
What's
keep
this
that
I
under
hear?
wraps.
You have side projects?
No side projects.
you're in demand, from what I understand. You are.
Well, Jack, sometimes he's got to make some movies. I need a little something to fill in the gaps
Mm-hmm.
between. But Kyle Gass Band and the Trainwreck are 2 side projects that once in a while go out there. But
And Jack Black, I've heard that you are a movie actor and that you've made some movies.
I make a couple movies on the side. Yeah, sure. Why not?
And
Side hustle.
and when you're cast in a movie to play a character, when the entire cast and crew, every moment that you're on set shows their enthusiasm and love for Tenacious D. Does it make it hard for you to concentrate on the character you're playing with everybody pestering you with all these rock star questions?
It doesn't bother me a bit. I mean, look, I have to give credit where credit is due. That the D really gave me my rocket boosters in my career, because my big breakout role was back in the year 2000 in a movie called High Fidelity.
Yes.
And the only reason I got that movie was because John Cusack was loving Tenacious D. He just thought we were hilarious, and he was like, I want you to play this lead role of Barry in this movie. And that really was the rocket launcher, because that led to School of Rock and everything that was good after that. So I'm just Jables from the block. I always remember, my D roots. So whenever anyone gives me props for rocking and Tenacious D, I always love it. That's my favorite compliment.
Okay,
See, that could be a song. That could be a song. Jables from the Block.
so
I'm sorry.
Jonathan,
I'm just Jables from the block.
Jonathan, you wanted to say something?
Well,
here?
speaking of remixes, guys, we have this special sort of. I know we've been talking about Tenacious D, obviously, talking about The Who, obviously, but here at Q104.3 in New York City, we have this special remix of a song by Led Zeppelin, but we've added some magic dust to it, if you will, and I'd like for you guys to hear it and,
we've never
listen
heard
for about 25, 30 seconds. And we'd like to see your reaction and hear your reaction. So, Jim, you got that queued up?
Yeah,
I'm
let's go.
intrigued.
Here we go.
I'm intrigued.
Oh yeah.
On Q 104.3.
We just thought you'd like to hear how it
Yes.
sounds going right into the record on the radio.
You like that remix?
Man,
Oh man,
that was a cool moment. That brings back memories. That's when I begged Led Zeppelin to use their song "In School of Rock" because that scene is an iconic scene, and it wouldn't have worked at all without Led Zeppelin's permission slip.
Yeah, but now Jimmy Page says that Robert Plant will not reunite with him and John Paul Jones unless it's for the sole purpose of opening for Tenacious D.
No,
And
my God,
I understand that. I understand you don't want them
incredible.
to. I don't know. You're a little afraid of having them open for you.
It's It's a sticky subject. We don't like to have Zeppelin open for us. It happened one time before, and it was just a little awkward.
Uncomfortable.
Because I can't go along with this bit. It's such an absurd premise.
It's Jack Black and Kyle Gass, Tenacious D.
It actually would be the worst opener of all time. You don't want to follow that. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
well, maybe now.
Hey, Vanilla
Maybe
Fudge had to follow them here in New York at the
Whoa.
Fillmore.
Oh my God!
Whoa.
Now, how can people get a hold of the vinyl, which will also support the charitable organization that you're participating?
Glad you asked. It couldn't be easier. Go to tenaciousd.com. And click the link. Smash the thingy. I don't know. It's just tenaciousd.com. I'm sure there's a button you can push in there.
Right,
But
ask your Google machine.
And it's 7-inch vinyl, and the proceeds go to benefit Everytown for gun safety. And I want to thank you both for getting up early.
Yes.
To spend time with us
thank
this
you,
morning
Jim.
here at Q103.
My honor.
It's
an honor.
It's our honor. Thanks a lot, guys.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.